You are live. I'm Al Gore. I gotta stop saying that. You are hearing me talk. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you here on my live streaming show today. Sorry for anybody who was watching. I had to take like a half an hour to just sort of meditate and find out where I'm at in my head. Often happens. Do these long videos and I just get so drawn out by how long these can be sometimes. But for everybody watching, this is our live stream today on How to Rock Spirit, talking about Year of the Monkey, born in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, if you've been watching from our previous video, you can always look at the video. I'll probably make an end screen at the end that says, hey, check out this other video. We just talked for about like 4 hours about the nature of Pisces, or I'm sorry, the monkey coming through the signs of Sagittarius and Pisces. We locked in specifically. So this video is about Year of the Monkey, Sagittarius Sun, meaning if you're in the month of Sagittarius. So that's like November 21st to December 21st. Of course, we're blending the Western sun sign of Sagittarius with the Eastern Chinese sign of the Year of the Monkey, or the month of the monkey, the day of the monkey, or the hour of the monkey. Because, of course, the year sign, there's more to your Chinese chart than your year sign. Just like how in astrology we say there's so much more to you than just the sun sign. You might think because you're a Sagittarius that that's all that there is to you, because that's how we think in Western astrology. But there's so much more to you than just your sun sign. You also have a moon. You also have your rising sign. You also have your Jupiter. Particularly for Sagittarius, the placement of your Jupiter is going to say a lot about your ability to project the positive strengths of Sagittarius. If your Jupiter is got good aspects from other planets, if your Jupiter's in the first house, Jupiter's very strong in the first house, especially the closer it is to the ascendant sign, the ascendant placement. If your Jupiter is closer to Cancer, its exaltation point, the Jupiter will also be much stronger. So Jupiter does well in like Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Not particularly in Virgo and Gemini, because Mercury is not a friend to Jupiter. But at least those signs are close to Gemini, close to Cancer, which is Jupiter's exaltation point. You as a Sagittarius, you lean on Jupiter for the expression of your sun. And also the strength of your sun is a factor here. If you've got positive aspects to your sun in Sagittarius, if you've got like, if it's in trine with Venus, or if your sun especially is in trine with Jupiter, these are all great things which help to make the sun cultivate and express its the self that it desires to become. That's what we know of as the sun sign. So, how exactly does the sun in Sagittarius relate to the year of the monkey? Well, if you're reading, I'm going to try to give you a little synthesis of all we just said about the year of the monkey coming through the Jupiter rulership, particularly, of Sagittarius. Well, a few things we could say. What we usually try to do when we mix Chinese signs and Western signs, I always like to say there's no scripture for what's to say how these signs are supposed to come together and what they're going to come out as. We're going to talk about it as we get into the books, but essentially the Chinese astrology for 3,000 years has subsisted, and people have been talking about how the year of the monkey relates to all the other Chinese animals for like 3,000, 4,000 years. There's scriptures on it. There's lots of texts on it. And we have this time-tested backbone of scriptures to find the year of the monkey. Same thing, of course, with Sagittarius. In the Western hemisphere, we've been stewing on the archetypes of the sun, how the sun relates to the other planets and the other signs. We've been stewing on that in our separate cultures for 3,000 years, but they've never come together. So us as people trying to digest these separate cultural strands, we need to be able to assimilate the different symbols of these two from an intuitive perspective. Meaning, like, what does the monkey bring to the Sagittarius that would help the Sagittarius? What does the monkey bring to Sagittarius that would obstruct Sagittarius sun? From the Chinese perspective, of course, we could also be considering, how does Sagittarius help the positive qualities of the monkey? That's what I'm trying to say. How does Sagittarius bring its positives and its strengths to help the nature of the monkey? And how is the nature of Sagittarius going to amplify the weaknesses of the monkey? These are, this is what we have to think about. And we think about it at a symbolic level because the monkey doesn't deal with any planetary symbols. So we can't just say that the Jupiter rulership of Sagittarius does any distinctly perfect thing for the monkey. So we have to go by feel, go a bit by intuition. It's what we have to do as as astrologers in the new world, considering all the elements of a chart. Because astrology is a little bit too easy for some people these days. They think all I need to know is that I'm a Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is great at doing these things, and as long as I do these things, I'm fucking great. It's not quite that way. Sagittarius has strengths, and those strengths also define their weaknesses. So let's talk about it a bit. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and it's a fire sign. The mutability makes it likes to move around, likes to be active. Sagittarius likes to go outside and actually be active and to see nature, to see material reality, and how they can deal with it. They love to be told, like they love a field where they have to get their hands dirty and work on something that they can impress people with. Sagittarius loves to be driven to develop a skill that it can impress people with, that it can get glory for. And its skills usually involve things that relate to culture. Sagittarius is very good at seeing cultural tropes. They're good at seeing trends. They're good at understanding, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter has a sense of its environment, has a sense of the people around it, and it wants to be impressive to everybody at things that culture considers important. Like, they're good sportsmen. They tend to like sports. They're very competitive. Sagittarius likes to win. Although they will have falls, these people aren't quite as egoically driven as Leo and Aries as fire signs. But Sagittarius does consider it important for them to be at least well received and respected for whatever field they consider is their field of expertise. A lot of what Sagittarius considers important, the monkey also considers important. This is a good and a bad thing. Monkey also likes to win. Monkey is a metal sign. It's yang metal. It can be very cutting, very tough. And they like to win the battle. They like to win the war too. But, the monkey is particularly good. The monkey Sagittarius is a good problem solver. Monkey likes to be reliable to the things that it identifies as being reliable for. If they're a mechanic, they're going to be the best mechanic in town, and I can get you anything, and especially the Sagittarius here. They will get experience with all different types of mechanics. They might work with lots of different people, and they'll take it upon themselves to say that I'm pretty good at what I do. And they'll convince that this mechanic, that me as Mr. Sagittarius Monkey, I'm really good at this particular field, and so the mechanic will take them on. And the Sagittarius Monkey might have been bullshitting a bit just to get their foot in the door and say, look, I'll get you what you need to get done. And so the boss will say, all right, come on, we'll let you on. And the Sag Monkey might not exactly know everything about what they've thrown themselves into, but they're very sensitive and intuitive. They'll at least know a bit about the field that they say to people that they can promise they can deliver on. And they will be resourceful in diligently figuring out what they got to do to keep that position, to be that respected person in their field. They really are wizards about it. The Sagittarius brings to the monkey a real exploration. You know, we say Sagittarius is a globetrotter, and they experience all these different things in the world. What these people like to do is that they're interested in people, they're interested in cultural perspectives on their given field. Monkey, in this person too, is trying to cinch a well-developed, well-defined, well-explored sense of a particular thing. Monkey it's got some yang earth in it. It's very sensitive to history. The monkey will probably early on try to grab a position. They'll probably try to grab a piece of real estate and say, this is the corner store or this is the mechanic shop that I'm going to start working at. They'll get a little mechanic shop on the corner where everyone can rely on the Sagittarius Monkey for this thing. And at first they're like, yeah, I'll be able to make anything work. And they might not always be able to make it work. They might not be great at what they hone in on that particular corner store for. But eventually, they'll try to hold that corner store down. They'll try to build a reputation as the corner store, the mechanic, the shop, where you can get anything, and I'll find out some way, some resourceful way. I got these friends in this corner and these friends and these friends, and I'll find some way, some knowledge that will get you what you need. And they will keep that corner store there for like 15 years, and other companies will come and go. You know, for some reason, they keep this thing, and people will respect that spot for having been there for years as the person who can get you anything you need in that regard, whatever it might be. So the Sagittarius brings a worldly experience as well as a book knowledge, especially if Jupiter is well placed and if the sun has good aspects to it. The sun will take it upon itself, especially coming through the monkey. The sun will take it upon itself to, in an egoic way, say, I'm the fucking man for the job. Or I'm the lady for the job. If we're talking about a Sagittarius monkey. This is a lady or a man who can, the sun in Sagittarius, the king of the chart, is taking upon itself to project an idea, an ego of itself as being capable, as being the one who can cinch the deal, as being the one who is practical and skilled in whatever. They'll try to get a field that they're good at so that they can solidify the opportunity and the challenges. They want people to come with challenges to them and say, you seem to be the best at your field, and if you claim to be, do this. And the Sagittarius sun will say, yes, I can do it. And the monkey will say, this is my field. This is my thing that I'm good at. And the monkey will do some sleight of hand and say, oh, come on, give it to me. I can do anything you want. I promise you I can get this and this and this, and I'll make it all happen at this amount of time. And the Sagittarius will have the worldly experience, especially after a long time. They'll really know a lot about the field that they're in, and they'll smash their head against the universe until the universe gives them whatever it is that they're looking for. The Sagittarius, therefore, brings worldly experience and book wisdom, book knowledge to whatever field the monkey considers it important to hone in on and to identify with as a skill that the monkey can bring to any table. Monkeys are competitive, and so is the Sagittarius. This is good because they're both, this person is competitive. Not only does the Sagittarius want to win, the monkey wants to be considered, monkey is yang metal, and it wants to be reflected. It wants to see that everyone understands that monkey is the best at being capable, at being an intelligent mind, and they hate to lose. It's part of the problem with this combination is that whenever monkey loses, it cripples their whole understanding of themselves as being the most capable person at what it is that they're trying to do. Now, if the sun is well placed, then even if the Jupiter's not well placed, if the sun is good, they will consider it important to project an ego which knows that it's good at this particular thing. And if the Jupiter's not well placed, they might not feel good about it. They might seem a little bit self-serving. People might think, holy fuck, this person is really egotistical about holding this position of status as the best at whatever they're at. When you talk to them, they might even be arrogant if the Jupiter isn't well placed or if the Venus isn't well placed too. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. We rely on people who know a job to take it upon themselves to be an initiating leader in whatever field we're dealing them. But, you know, if you're dealing with a mechanic, you want them to be a confident mechanic and for them to say, fuck, I've done that before. Yeah, it's normal to us mechanics, you know, we deal with this stuff all the time, and if you bring it in and I'll be able to work it. I can make anything work. That's what these people have. They have this disposition. And so when that's, you know, they'll even take things lightly. They won't show like they're being burned by a bad business mistake. They're kind of like, I'm burning and learning, you know, what can I say? Every mistake is just bringing me that much closer to my goal. In fact, I would say that mistake was one of my goals because I had to make that mistake in order to get where I'm going. Obviously, because I just know what I'm doing. You know, this is the kind of vibe that these people sort of bring about. It can be good if the sun is well placed, then they will be guided to keep enacting this disposition that they're very good at whatever they do and very capable. It's a good thing for any sun to have. And the monkey here will drive it even further and amplify this theme of being egotistically desirous of looking capable and punctual. They want to look noble even. They want to look like they've got their kind of chest out and they're like, oh, well, what can I say? I've been doing this for a long time and, you know, I'm an expert at it. I mean, you know, it's just what I do. You know, they'll look capable. If the sun is weak, they will want to look and feel capable, but they won't be able to hold that down. If you've got like sun in Sagittarius, but Saturn is there, or Saturn's aspecting it, or Mars is aspecting it. If Mars is aspecting the sun here, it's like if the Mars is square to the Sagittarius sun, then this Sagittarius monkey will be a little bit too competitive. They'll express their Mars energy in order, like, it'll make them aggressive. They will actually want to win for the sake of winning, not for the sake of what's best for everybody. The highest expression of Sagittarius monkey is a Sagittarius who feels capable. It's a Sagittarius who feels like they can do anything. They can take on any challenge. That's an incredible sun to have because the sun tells itself, I have to sacrifice my personal needs in order to build this reputation as somebody who is capable, who can solve anyone's problems. These people consider themselves a real resourceful problem solver. And the bluster, the so-called fakeness that it looks like it's fake. These people are like fake it till you make it. That is the predominant vibe of these people. But the thing is that they do make it. They will They'll put on, they're good with sleight of hand, monkey in particular. So is Sagittarius. These themes of Sagittarius and monkey are quite glued together on a lot of points, for better or worse. This confidence, this capability can be a great, powerful thing for anybody. And it's a great thing for them, so long as they don't, try not to be a sore loser. The monkey, as we're going to read, they might not look like a sore loser, but they might actually hold grudges. They might be frustrated when someone undermines their capacity to look capable. And so it's hard to criticize these people, because you come to them with a criticism, and they might not take it lying down. They might say, you just don't get this field, man. Look, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to be. I'm an expert on the subject, they'll bring in all this kind of shit, And this is the point, is that for all the strength of them identifying and projecting themselves to be a capable and resourceful person, when the dark side of the moon comes, and they have to be shown the truth, which is that sometimes you can't be right all the time. These people will take it lightly, because the Sagittarius in this person knows that, no matter how many times I fall down, I'm going to be able to get up. And especially if the Jupiter is strong, this might be a person who's capable, confident, can express their confidence and strength. And when someone comes to them with a criticism, if the Jupiter's close to Cancer, which is Jupiter's exaltation point, they will understand. Their Jupiter will feel good and meaningful about doing this for everybody, about cultivating an internal, Cancer's the moon. It's looking within itself. So when Jupiter's closer to Cancer, the Sagittarius monkey is driven to understand how itself works best in the world. And that's incredibly logical. This is a person who's very logical about themselves and about dealing with problems and issues. If someone comes to them and it's a new information to them, if the Jupiter's well placed and they can understand it properly, then they will say, excellent, I'm glad you've brought this issue to me, because now I can be even more capable knowing this unknown that I previously didn't know. I'm glad that you brought this criticism to me, because now it's a positive, constructive element to my tool bag of my ego's ability to deal with anything. These people are real problem solvers, and they like to be known as problem solvers. They like to be known as being knowledgeable. It's like the monkey likes to be known as what the sun sign is. In this case, the monkey, the capable, crafty monkey, likes to be known as being good at being skilled, being knowledgeable, all things Jupiter, being expansive, being able to get anything that you need. I'll figure it out. Leave it to me. Don't worry. I'll leave it to me and my people. We'll get it done. Trust me. Monkey vibe for sure. Now, let's read a little bit about the monkey before we get into what I do with these. Whenever I do these lectures, I read from various authors' descriptions of the nature of the sign combo. First, we're going to talk a bit about monkey. Then we're going to talk from 3 different authors' takes about Sagittarius monkey. And as usual, this is a live stream. Hi, Goosey. Nice to see you. This is a live stream, so anybody who feels like being a part of the conversation, feel free to add. And we will talk about your ideas about the conversation. Now, just a little bit about monkey before we get into Sagittarius. The monkey is an esteemed figure in Chinese consciousness. Sorry, coughing at the mic there. Monkey is an esteemed and highly respected consciousness in the Chinese culture. In some parts of China, The monkey is worshipped as the great sage equal to heaven. Monkeys are also associated with adultery, justice, and emotionally with sorrow. These are all themes and tones that will probably come into the monkey's life at some point. Monkey is like a human brain. Whatever the brain senses is a positive feeling towards further fulfillment, the monkey tends to be led by its sense of what is the right thing to do or say. Monkey is the closest of all the animals in the Chinese zodiac. Monkey is the closest to humans. Humans are objective about the different subjects in any sphere, where a lot of people, being driven by the animal nature of other animals, they say, I have to deal with this situation based on myself, based on how I feel as a subject. What can I bring best to this conversation? The monkey takes itself out. It takes itself out of the subjective, and it looks at what everybody brings objectively to the coffers of the town, of the citadel, right? Monkey, as I said, is a metal, yang metal, and metal relates with Venus holding a sword. There's several archetypes of Venus where she's not a pretty lady looking at herself in the mirror, but she's a badass bitch holding a fucking sword and is ready to cut off ties to that which is not conducive to the fortification of her body, of her needs, of her emotions, of her good feelings and good energy. So, monkey's in the autumn sign in Chinese astrology. It's in the autumn side of things. So that's like monkey, rooster, dog are the three metal types. And these types are very objective. They work hard. They're very discerning and tend to be logical. And they look at things from an outside perspective, saying, what does everybody need? And the monkey will take it upon itself to talk as if it's looking out for everybody's interests. And it really is. Monkey's a funny character. It is looking out for everybody's best interests. But because monkey is the only one looking at the bottom line of what everybody needs, monkey will come along and say what's best for the group, what it thinks is best for the group. It thinks objectively, and it really will even reduce its own pleasures, its own needs to help everybody build whatever it is that everybody needs, right? It's like, let's say that we've got a festival, we've got a music festival happening, and the monkey is the first one, that is the one that spearheads it. It says, we're going to start this festival that happens every year. It's at the same place, and we're going to start building people to come, and they got to bring a bit of money, because in order to make everything happen, there needs to be money coming in order that this festival can keep going along. So monkey will say, all right, everybody, we're starting this thing. Everybody start coming to this place at this time of year. Pay a little bit of money. Pay what you can, maybe at first. And monkey will get all these wheels turning. And everyone will say, well, someone has to do it. And monkey's doing it. Thank God for you, monkey. It's such a great idea. Let's all come together and let's put our money in and let's enjoy the festival, because it's something that everybody wants and needs. The monkey here will say, great, now everybody come along. Now, of course, when there's any situation where we need where we've got money coming in, resources are coming in, there needs to be a human brain being objective of where the resources are coming in, making sure that resources are going to the right places, not lining someone's pockets. And we need to know that everyone is getting a fair, just value for what they're paying for. Monkey will see to it that everybody feels like the bit of money that they pay is worth what they pay for and is coming to them, and it's looking great. What happens with monkey, that's a tough thing that they often deal with, is that they get all this going where everyone thinks that monkey is doing what's best for everybody. And again, someone needs to do these things. Someone needs to bring in the money. Someone needs to make sure everything is organized. What ends up happening is that because monkey's an initiator, they like to get things going on. They see what needs to get done and they don't ask questions. They don't ask, am I allowed to do this? They're just like, bingo, festival happening, let's make it happen. What happens to monkey, being the human brain organizing the resources, is that the human brain needs its own nutriment. It needs its own resources. And the brain is the most important part of the body, and it takes up the most resources, which is understandable. What happens to monkey often is that people get frustrated because monkey says, okay, so since we've got this money for this festival now, the money needs to be organized. Since no one else had the great idea to get this thing going on, I'll take it upon myself to be the treasurer, because being a treasurer is an annoying thing, isn't it? Oh, it's so annoying, but don't worry, guys. I'll take it upon myself. I mean, like, it's what I do. What can I say? I'm Mr. fucking capable, and, you know, I enjoy being the person who gets my nose into this, so I'll take care of the money. And everyone says, well, we know you initiated this whole thing, but are we sure that you aren't going to be lining your own pockets with some of the treasury money? And the monkey will say, well, look, I've done this in the past and the whole festival went great, and it's still going great. Now I've started this new festival. I'm taking all the money and being the treasurer. Everyone's getting their money's worth. Trust me, says the human brain to its own body. This is the kind of thing that the monkey deals with. If you dig where I'm at there, you know, it's just the nature of things. Somebody needs to be organizing and taking care of things. And the thing is that monkey does enjoy his place of power on the top of having initiated all this thing, which now everybody sees as an important thing that's helping everybody. Monkey really likes his hot spot place on the top of that pyramid. And depending on the sun sign nature of the individual, you know, we're talking about Sagittarius here. So maybe the Sagittarius will consider it their duty to make sure that everything is, you know, maybe they'll be leading a movement, like a new hippie movement, or like, you know, even just something scientific, something rational, something political. Monkey can be very political. And if all goes well, they will be at the hot spot, at the hot seat. They'll be like King Louis from the Jungle Book, where they're even enjoying a little bit of the luxury that you get for having initiated everything. People respect the monkey because he's King Louis who got all this going for all these monkeys. Come on, boys, let's fucking enjoy it. And everyone's like, yeah, King Louis. Someone needed to start these things. Someone needed to start this festival, and you did, and you are awesome. Just so long as that doesn't go to King Louis's head, everything should be fine. The monkey is bound to have to deal with criticism of a personal nature regarding anything that they do with anything like this. People are going to come to them and just be checking. Since you've taken upon yourself to start this whole thing up, we're just checking to make sure that everyone's better interests are being accounted for. And if monkey is wise, especially if the Sagittarius person's, you know, the Sagittarius leaps towards this connection and says, let's get all these things together and I promise it'll all work out. And they might even be doing a bit of sleight of hand, saying, I got a car, I have a perfect car that can parade the first band throughout the park. And I promise that I'm going to bring that car. So they'll go to a buddy and say, this is the Sagittarius and the monkey coming through the resourceful monkey. Sagittarius goes to their friend and says, hey, we need some paint to paint our banner. And we need paint on the cheap, and we need someone to paint it too. And the painter says, well, that sounds good, but I want my band to be in here, and I want them to be paraded through the festival before everything starts. If you can get me that, I'll get you the paint and I'll do it for free. And the Sagittarius says, I've got just the vehicle. I've got a perfect truck that I could get you going through the whole friggin' festival. And the painter says, great. So if you hook me that up, I'll be there to paint for you. And the monkey says, okay, great. The Sagittarius in this person's like, I got faith, buoyance. I'm capable. I'll make it work. I'm resourceful. Then they go and they're like, fuck, now I got to find a truck because I didn't actually have one. They go and they go all around and they finally meet somebody through their resourcefulness and their people and their networking and what they know. Ultimately, they might not promise it if there's absolutely no glimmer in their mind that it will work. But if they have a slight glimmer that they know a friend who they can pressure to let them borrow this truck, monkey will say, great, Mr. Painter, you got it. I'm going to get that for you. If you be there to paint our shit, I'll get you the thing. Goes to their buddy who has a truck, and their buddy says, oh, fuck, man, I don't want my new truck to get paraded through the stupid festival with a bunch of musicians who are drunk and probably going to treat it like crap. And the Sag will say, I can ensure absolutely that your truck will be in absolutely working order. It won't get fucked or whatever. And that person says, maybe well, if you can somehow promise me that that's going to all come down, then I'll do it. And then the Sagittarius is like, oh, I'll secure it for you. And then maybe I don't know, they'll wheel and deal and they'll make it happen. So at first, where they didn't even have the truck to help the painter out, now they've got the truck, now they've got the painter, and they'll just keep going and promising this person and this person and this person. And when it all comes together, if the Jupiter's well placed and if the Sun's well placed, and especially if they got a strong Mercury, they will put in the diligent effort to make sure all the promises come together at the diligent designated time, where everyone's like, oh, we said we would do this thing, and now I'm here to do this thing, and everyone's helping each other out because the monkey cinched it all together on false promises that were not. It's all sleight of hand for the monkey. But this person will fake it till they make it, and they will make it. As I said, that's a huge clinger theme for the Sagittarius monkey. These people are magicians. Really profound, powerful magicians when they want to be. Especially if they've got a good, clean chart, their Jupiter's in the right place. What might happen with these people if their Jupiter is in closer to Capricorn, they might not take it upon themselves to do all this. They might just be a very good worker at a company, and they might not be able to take advantage of their faith in themselves to do this wheeling and dealing. They might just do it for their boss, and they might just say to their boss, I'm really good at what I do, and they'll be very capable for a company, and they might not be as properly expansive of their spirit as they would prefer to be. If the Jupiter here is closer to Capricorn for the Sagittarius monkey, they will be thinking very materialistically. They'll try to make themselves look good to a company, not necessarily to themselves, but to a particular company or a particular people. And they might get, unless if they want to keep that company forever, then they'll do that. But the company is not using the Sagittarius's faithful promising and sleight of hand of the monkey to its fullest benefit. They'll stay alive, they'll get their 3 meals, but they might not thrive. The Sagittarius monkey thrives on its capacity to promise everyone a magical time. To promise this person that they can get that so long as they can get that. And they'll promise this person so as long as they can get that. And they'll promise this person that they can get that so long as they can get the thing from the first person. All 3 of those come together at the same time, and the monkey says, look at that. I hardly even lifted a finger. But all these people are doing these things to help each other. And whose name has the signature on the festival? We all know that Sagittarius monkey was the one who signed their reputation on the dotted line and came through with it, if all goes well. These people, the Sagittarius goes through some falls sometimes before they can cinch this capacity in themselves to have faith that it will all come together, and then it does, it doesn't always come together perfectly. But as we're going to learn, the monkey is going to say, look, of course, that was meant to happen, Whenever they can't come through with a promise, they'll say, these things happen. let me see if I can figure out some way to cinch the connection that I have with you, because I failed on this particular promise to you. Sorry about that. It happens, but I'll try to make it worth your while still. And if they are, again, if they have a good Jupiter, they'll consider it important for them in a spiritual way to actually give back whatever energy another person gives them. If the Jupiter's not in a good place, these people will make promises. They won't come through with them. They'll have a little bit of glory and reputation, and they'll try to hold on to that reputation, but it will eat them because people will know that it was all false promises that didn't actually come through. And then these people will be building an ego that everyone loves, and they will feel the sorrow of the monkey. They will feel the emotional, wretched grossness of not having come through and built the personality of being resourceful and reliable, which they sought to build up. The monkey personality. Highly competitive and insatiably curious. Monkeys are very shrewd. They're intelligent and ingenious and try to make the best of any situation. They're quick-witted and never at a loss for words. They have a reputation for trickery. I guess I should say, this little reading comes from the Zodiac, the Diagram Group by Little Giant Encyclopedia. Although monkeys can be scheming and are good at manipulating people, they use these skills wisely. Despite this, monkeys are quick to stop others who manipulate them. Monkeys try to be honest, but will tell a lie if it's convenient for themselves and for everybody. Little white lies, no big deal. It's part of the sleight of hand thing. Now, this is like Secret Monkey. This book always has a secret thing. What you might not realize about the monkey is that in public, monkeys always appear lighthearted and carefree. In private, however, they may be nursing deep feelings of insecurity. Monkeys get very hurt if they feel rejected or shut out. It's the metal, the yang metal gleaming. It radiates, and whenever anyone shuts out the monkey, the metal doesn't get to shine, and they're just like, oh, all I am is this piece of metal. And if this piece of metal is dull, what's the point of even living? What's the point of even being what I am? So monkey will get very hurt if they're rejected or shut out, but they will make light of the situation and cover their true feelings. This could be a person who's 50 years old at the end of everything, and they made lots of promises, never really came through with it. And when you talk to them, they're just like, it's life. I'm living life. I'm doing the life thing. I'm not dead. What can I say? I got these few things. I'm making it all happen. It's all good. But when they might be a real sore wretch on the inside, but they're trying not to show on the outside that they're at that place. Which is understandable, really. So let's start getting into our book's descriptions of the Sagittarius monkey. What I like to do with these videos is we talk a little bit about the nature of the Sagittarius monkey from 3 different books. This one's the Handbook of Chinese Horoscopes by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. This one gives us a smaller gumball description of the nature of the sign. Then we get a bigger gumball with this book, and then the biggest chunk of the Sagittarius monkey will come from this book. We'll get to them all. For now, let's talk a little bit about the monkey from the Handbook of the Chinese Horoscopes by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. This is Sagittarius monkey. Just going to do a quick check for any comments. Hi, creepy kitten. Nice to see you, my friend. Gotta love that Sagittarius, huh? They are really quite a crew. I'm Sagittarius moon myself, so I just love anybody who's got Sagittarius. I feel good about the way they project themselves. I feel like I relate with it. Sagittarius monkey. The monkey provides sustaining fortitude and organizational talent for the high-minded Sagittarian. On his part, the archer, the Sagittarius in this person, will certainly make sure that the monkey's objectives are as straight and true as the archer's aim. Meaning the monkey can do lots. The monkey can deal with anything. What Sagittarius brings to the monkey is that they're not just tilling soil just for the sake of tilling soil. The monkey's really good at eating all the bananas on a tree. And sometimes they might eat all the bananas, because I'm a friggin' expert at peeling all these bananas and eating it. Just look how good I am at doing this climbing and everything. They get to the top of the tree, and now there's no bananas in the tree. And now the monkey's like, well, fuck, I was really great at that thing, but now it's gone. What do I do now? The Sagittarius in this person is looking the whole way of the soul and saying, like, this is what I am, this is what I'm good at, this is what is going to project me the best towards my destiny. And the monkey will be crafty and resourceful towards that regard, towards whatever is the Sagittarian aim in this person. This personality will possess both integrity and an impenetrable mind, despite that footloose and fancy-free image that they may project to throw us off. It's a person who's got a good poker face. They're really good at looking unassuming. Oh, I'm just having fun here at this festival. Oh, it's a festival. We could say we're all playing music and stuff like that. But they like to even put that off there. Oh, I don't think too much about things. Oh, you got to go with the flow, you know? They're much more clever and watching everything than they probably show. Great people to play like board games with, you know, because they're just so good at steering other people into thinking that they're at a different place. A clever and intelligent manipulator, Sagittarius monkey never reveals their real angle until they're sure of clinching the deal. The native is a lucky and dynamic conjurer, produced by the combined forces of the aristocratic Sagittarius and the ingenious, rule-breaking, animal-aware, evolutionary-aware monkey. Sagittarius likes to put on a bit of an aristocratic vibe. I'm just so refined, darling, you know. But the monkey here will, like, do visceral things. Like, just whatever's got to get done, you know, they'll dig their hands into a bucket of shit in order to pick out this object that they need, wash their hands, wash all the dirt off, wash the blood off, whatever they got to do. And it's just like, well, bingo, I'm still just so capable, aren't I? And they have a refined, graceful air, the Sagittarius tries to do, although they're blunt. I mean, this aristocratic thing is here, but they're blunt. They can be truthful and to the point of, like, arrogance. They will try to keep up appearances, though. They'll try to dress well. They'll try to look noble. They'll have a noblesse oblige. While they might not be, and especially in public and when it comes to their reputation, the monkey, the shining yang metal, wants to gleam radiantly in its position of wherever it's at. It's just in private, they might not think twice about, like, farting in an enclosed room and say, fuck, sorry guys, woo! It's the Sagittarius, you know, like, they're kind of, like, brutally honest about the body and its nature, and they can be real competitors in the erotic sphere as well. Might be unapologetically virile and looking for the best girl, and all's fair in love and war for the Sagittarius monkey. Ugh, my nose is so stuffy lately. I think it's because it's, like, coming to be summer. Got a bit of hay fever happening. Ugh, just so annoying. So, now, our next reading with Sagittarius Monkey comes from Mantak Chia and William U. Wei's Cosmic Astrology, East-West Guide to Your Internal Energy Persona. This is Mantak Chia. That's who wrote this. He's a very good Chinese astrologer. Really one of the three premier Chinese astrologers. I would say the three main guys in the circuit right now are Master Mantak Chia, him and his wife wrote this book, Calculating the Bazi. I highly recommend it for anybody interested in the depths of Chinese astrology. Mantak Chia is the second most, there's no order there, but he's the another prominent figure in the field of Bazi, Chinese astrology. And then the third is Joey Yap. He's pretty fucking sweet. His books are stupidly expensive, and that's all annoying and stuff, but Joey Yap really knows where the bottom line is with Chinese metaphysics. So again, blah. This is Cosmic Astrology by Mantak Chia, talking about Sagittarius combined with the monkey year. Sagittarius monkey. This combination... Oh, sorry, my nose. Ugh. This combination knows who he is, likes who he is, and is comfortable with who he is. Now, this makes him fairly outgoing. Whenever somebody, they are extroverted and, they know what they are. So when someone comes along and says, that was very rude of you to say, they'll be like, yeah, I say rude things sometimes. It's sometimes a thing that I do. Sorry about that. I guess that's how that conversation's going to go. This combination is kind and compassionate and enjoys sharing with and helping other people. Of course, no combination is all roses and cherries, and this is also true of the Sagittarius monkey. The Sagittarius monkey is an explorer of the future. They are smooth and care deeply about their fellow humans. Verbally, they shoot straight and believe in participating in good works. They're essentially happy campers. This fundamental description is true of both the Sagittarius and monkey side of the combination. Both of them are kind of just sunshiny, just sort of everything's going to be all right, It's part of this sleight of hand thing that they do, but it's also a lightness that they just do. They are objectively aware, this human brain level that, sometimes shit happens in life that's not that great. They will have sorrow fall into them because they're just so accepting of it. And it's a great thing because, everybody has their delusions, but these people just see the negativity in life and are just like, okay, I understand. Let's deal with it. And they'll always get back up from whatever shit happens to them, typically. So, this description of this, they're essentially happy campers. And this description is true of both sides of the combination. Perhaps that is why their personalities are basically in harmony. The outwardly directed and people-oriented Sagittarius side is not in complete accord with the crafty and indirect monkey. Sagittarius is people-oriented, outwardly directed, while the monkey is crafty and indirect. Monkey likes to be sort of sarcastic, and they won't always say exactly what is you need to hear, but they might in the social concourse say geez, this guy over here is really just a bit arrogant, isn't he? He won't. The monkey would rather be indirect, not be so fully in your face. Although they're in your face, they'll say it. There'll be a group of people, And this one person will be a bit arrogant, and the monkey will turn to the buddy in front of everybody and say, wow, what a fucking asshole, or whatever, or, you know, that was an arrogant thing to say. And it's indirect, even though it was direct. Sagittarius being the direct one, right? A powerful and charismatic leader is born of this dialectic. They have the necessary power and passion to attract and convince followers. They are opportunistic and sly, and thus are perfect for anything involving a political approach to matters. The Sagittarius in this combination likes to take chances, but the monkey is cautious. Monkeys primarily think about themselves. This apparent rift and conflict actually has a happy ending, however. The overall interactions of the two signs push this combination toward leadership. Furthermore, it all comes about as simply as a stroll in the park. It's my nature to be a leader. It's my nature to initiate things. Just what can I say? It's just how it happens, I guess. Jeez, you know. I didn't choose to be born this way. The gods hath made me this way, you know. Now, in romance, this combination's emotional makeup is such that they have a difficult time coming to grips with their emotions. To put it plainly, they just do not take responsibility for their emotions. Its monkey is thinking about it objectively, seeing it as this annoying objective thing, and they're just like, this is just this annoying animal part of my human nature. What fuck? I wish I didn't have to deal with it. This is really getting in the way of my resource accumulating. This is really getting in the way of my reputation as a person who can gloriously keep doing things reliably. This animal emotion thing is just so annoying. They deal with it objectively like that, but it's difficult for someone to capture the heart of a Sagittarius monkey. They are a barrel of laughs and are extremely friendly. Serious commitment is another matter. The Sagittarius monkey is reluctant to make a serious commitment in a relationship. Intimacy scares them a bit, and they worry that time will erode deep feelings of love and romance. Marriage is something that they tend to shy away from. The monkey wants to make sure that its resources on every layer are accounted for in a solid, fortified, reliable way. Humans and their heartstrings are fickle things, and the monkey knows this. They know that if anybody else is like me, then their heartstrings must be fickle as well. And it's true to a certain degree, but these people are a little overly fickle and like hard and sporadic with their emotions and their feelings. But they just roll with it as this animal thing that's just like, fuck, this is just the nature of an animal, I guess. Just whatever, I'll deal with it. But because it's kind of so sporadic, they don't like always try to hone it in. Monkey loves to just keep peeling bananas and eating them, eating a half-eaten banana, throwing it down and being like, ooh, this is another good banana over here, half eating that, and just being, by the time they're like almost done it, they're like, oh, but look at this one though. And then like they'll keep eating bananas and just think like, am I even hungry? Oh, who cares? Look at this ripe bastard, you know. Like, you know what I mean? So they're constantly going into the animal sensory shifting of newness, of good feeling sensations, of what seems to be best logically from the human brain nervous system perspective. And if you consider it important to lock in with a lover who you deeply love, you might get frustrated at how fickle the human nature in them is, especially being distrustful of the monkey in yourself going and reaching for banana after banana. You know, just you see it in yourself, and so you don't tend to trust it in other people. The Sagittarius monkey. I should always say on this regard that for anybody, this is a theme, certainly, but for anybody who's interested in marriage, you might be married, you might see these things in yourself, but, if you consider it important to be married to somebody, you're a Sagittarius monkey. You know what it's all about. You know about human nature and what marriage is for and what its positives can be, what its negatives can be. Just consider that just because you as a monkey are inclined at that animal nature to eat the banana, chuck it, eat the banana, chuck it, doesn't mean that you can't find a deeper value in a relationship. Relationships are the cream of human experience. They can be for some people, not for everybody, but when you are with somebody for a long time, the wine gets distilled to a more pure, refined wine. Wine gets better over time. What's the word? It ferments over time. If you understand that that's something that can happen in relationships, and you consider it important to make those kind of emotional connections with people that will fruit even greater rewards over time, as love can do. Doesn't always, doesn't necessarily need to. If you have a good, strong Venus and a good, strong Saturn, Saturn will be willing to go through the darker parts of the holding on to one banana. Because everyone wants to just eat that ripe looking. Everyone thinks that the grass is greener on the other side of the field. And you jump onto that side, and you're like, oh, it's not that great over here. But actually, the side I just jumped from looks pretty green. Fucking let's hop over there. Hop over there, and it's like, oh, it's not really that great. But man, where we just came from, that green fence over there, man, it's green over there. Hop, hop, hop. We all want to do that. And it's whatever. It's okay. But the point is that if you've got a strong Saturn, you'll say, well, monkey will check. They're on this side and they'll say, there's a green grass over there. Monkey will check no matter what. Until they're about like 30 plus, they probably won't get married. They'll check all the fields, checking which is the greenest. But if you got a strong Saturn and your Venus is in a place where marriage would be considered important, you'll get married and you'll be able to, and you'll feel like you want to go for another banana. But if you're uncompromising in your ideal for your intention of a relationship and the goodness that it can bring, then you'll do it. So this is the point, is I don't think that just because you're a Sagittarius monkey that you can't get married. That's the whole point there. But you will be dealing with this fickle monkey, which is always looking for the grass on the greener side of the field. In fact, you might even be a person with the monkey here. Sagittarius reaching for what it feels is best, and even thinking mentally about like what is really best, really. If I got a marriage partner and we've got good enough fidelity, my wife's happy, I'm happy, or I shouldn't even, if you're a Sagittarius monkey woman and you say, my husband's happy, we've got this thing going on, it keeps our love together, we've got a house together, we got kids, we got a family, great. The monkey might consider it as relevant to their spirit if they should decide to go off on vacation, go off to Cuba, and go and fucking fuck some ripe bananas that are not your husband's banana, If it's not that big a deal for you, then you'll do it and, rock and roll. For me, I don't know, I'm interested in these kinds of things. If it gives your spirit more than it takes away from it, and it doesn't ultimately harm your husband, and it doesn't ultimately, I don't know, the Sagittarius in you is probably just like, oh, it's not idealistic, and so it's not the thing. But that's the funny thing about idealism, is that what is the most idealistic? Are you more idealistic because you change yourself to a husband who you consider to be important to you, and you have this love thing? I mean, fuck, you might not even feel the need to go and grab any other bananas. But this is the type of personality that might take it upon themselves to say, I've got this loving thing with my husband, and you might actually love them. And if you go out and try another banana just because it looked ripe and you just felt like changing it up like Monkey likes to do, I'm telling you that I won't judge you for it. So long as you keep everything together that you're keeping together for the ultimate sake of your greater spiritual expansion and capacity, right? And as long as this is the monkey way. I mean, fuck, sometimes monkeys do these little white lies. Just make sure you don't get so attached to these other bananas that you've got their number on your phone. I mean, I think it's one thing to go off on vacation and fuck some other guys, rock and roll, girl. But if you've got someone in your friend group who seems to have a more ripe banana than your husband's, and you tell your husband, honey, you're the only man that I'll ever need, and then your husband says, great, so let's hang out this weekend, and then you say, well, actually, I've got a business conference, and meanwhile, you're just going and banging some other guy, buddy's best friend or something like that. These are some real gross mix-ups that are not spiritually keen, which I don't recommend, because it will, depending on who you're with, it'll either get smelt out or you'll feel guilty about it, because Sagittarius doesn't want to ultimately feel guilty. Might be a bit idealistic about trying and considering the integrity of relationships in a different way. It might be exciting and it might even be good for you, but don't give in to the monkey's desire for constant stimulation of something new, because the more you give in to that, the more you will lose the capacity to enjoy the banana tree that you have now. And sometimes that's good, and that's what's best, especially if you consider your intent to have the deeper fruits of love. Just consider what you'd be losing by not cultivating a capacity. I mean, it's all for yourself. I'm not trying to give you some moral, ethical trip. I'm trying to say that you will lose the capacity in yourself to enjoy what you do have if you're always looking for what seems more stimulating. Just keep that in mind. Don't take it from an ethical, moral point of view, because who the fuck cares? What's best for you is what's most important. And you already know that, my Sagittarius monkey friend. So, I can't wait to read the comments. I wonder if you guys think I'm a slut. I'm a little bit of a slut, but I'm a spiritual slut. Whatever is best for the spirit, and whatever is most honest and truly, I don't know. I'm more of a relationship guy. I'm not a monkey. So I don't know. I think in my own way about these kinds of things, but there's a universal standard of what's great and ethical and ultimately best for you. And that's what you got to consider when we're talking about these kinds of things, because it always does depend on the subject. I would even recommend, if you feel these feelings, to be honest with your lover about it and just say, like, I'm going to Cuba to fucking get porked by some hot Cuban guys, and I'm going to use protected sex. Don't worry, baby. When I come back, I'm going to be fresh as a flower. And I'll love you all the more because you let me go and do that thing. That's how I would deal with it, personally. But I'm not a monkey. Now, as for relationships, whatever a relationship does for you, monkey, top selections in the field of romance for Sagittarius monkey are Aries, Libra, and Aquarius rats. These are the top picks. Additional good picks are the Leo, Libra, or Aquarius dragon. Oddly enough, Pisces snakes are quite a wonderful choice, but the chances are very much against ever hooking up with one. Snake and monkey are best friends, in the same way that boar and tiger are best friends, goat and ram are best friends. It's its own funny cycle. So snakes and monkeys think in very much the same way, and so does Pisces and Sagittarius. They're square to each other, and they're typically not looked at as being great for each other. But it's a wonderful choice. That's interesting. I could see why. The Pisces in the snake might be forgiving, The snake is ambitious and wants to be in the fiery light of someone like you, Sagittarius monkey, who's a wheeler and dealer, who's on the surface objectively critical about the relationship and about like how people think of the reputation. The Pisces snake will just be quiet, just let you do what you do best, and they'll be forgiving, and they'll ultimately just be glad that you're securing their mutual fortune and finances. And they'll probably hope that you're with them on some like love level too. Obviously the Pisces is bound to sense your true heart of things, but the snake is objective in the same way the monkey is about human emotions and relationships. So that's probably where that's at. For compatibility in this combination, poor choices are Virgo, Gemini, or Pisces boars. Boars square to monkey, and they think in the same way but in different directions, which is not always. They're both very powerful directives of mind, but those powerful directives are going in very different philosophical directions. Also out of the running are Gemini and Pisces buffaloes. Continuing the somewhat lengthy list of negative selections are Virgos, who are rabbits or tigers. You can see Virgo tiger just being the worst combination for this person. Tiger's opposite monkey. They think in completely different philosophical directions in the same strong way. And Virgo is very critical, will always be telling the Sagittarius what they're doing wrong in the monkey. That could be a mess. Now, in family life, in all likelihood, this combination will not marry early. This combination's career usually comes first, and marriage and kids a bit later, because the monkey has to be resourceful. The monkey here probably has lots of high-flying desires and ambitions, and a family will only just like weigh that down. But they could want a family at some point, and when they do, they will want to make sure the monkey will conscript a delegated plan to make sure that they have the resources to be glorious in the children's eyes, and that they weren't just some deadbeat who didn't have the money to take care of them. The metal in the monkey is very aware of what its reputation is and what people think of it at a visceral, in-the-moment level, especially like with their kids who they're going to be associated with all the time. If their kids hate them and just, they'll just probably feel like, bummer. Like, my reputation is not looking good right now to this kid in this moment and to everybody else because everyone knows my kids hate me. Ugh. Their personal appearance is also fairly functional and conventional. Sagittarius monkey. I mean, I could see them being flashy sometimes, but functional is a good word, and conventional. Lo and behold, that's just what it is. This combination is not Mr. or Mrs. Flashy or showy. Interesting. I guess that's part of the rugged Sagittarius vibe. They're concerned with appearances, but their appearance doesn't necessarily need to be flashy. I could see this person wanting to look down to earth and practical and reliable. Getting things accomplished is more important than gaining attention. Having a reputation as someone who gets things accomplished. The Sagittarius monkey is fundamentally a pragmatic person. There's no flamboyance in their nature, and this fact is reflected in their home. While they might have some interesting items from their globe-trotting, their goal is not to impress people. They have a home that is comfortable, and they are fairly neat and orderly. As with most pragmatists, the point of their home is that it works well. It's functional. There's a water well at the back that's working functionally. They got devices that make the house work. They got like, this person's a musician. They'll probably just have the place just like littered with like instruments that they can take or tools that they can use. They didn't have enough room in the workshop, so that they've got this big old table saw hanging out in the dining room or like the whatever room, and they're just like, well, it's there when I need it. I know it doesn't look great, but who cares? What matters is that when someone comes to me, Mr. Reliable, for whatever problem they need, I can saw the fuck out whatever they need me to saw. Now, livelihood. With this kind of personality and approach to life, there's only one slot for them in the world of employment. They are bosses. Fortunately, they do a fairly good job at being in leadership positions and are generally liked by those under them. The Sagittarius likes to just be expressive and real and human in the moment. This combination loves a challenge and does not shy away from problems. Problems solving, in fact, is their forte, and they have the acumen to deal with the toughest and most difficult issues placed before them. There's no such thing, in their mind, as a problem without a solution. They invented the saying, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. In those rare occasions where they are not familiar with the issues of the focus, they can make sensible noises anyway. They can make sensible noises anyway. That's kind of a funny way of putting it. It's like they won't make a big deal about the fact that they don't know about it. They'll just like, okay, well, this seems to be a field that is not of my expertise. Now, who do we call to deal with this particular thing? They won't make a huff about it. They won't say like, oh, well, actually, I'm sure that I can figure this out. I mean, sometimes they will to do the sleight of hand. Just like, I promise, I'll be able to get somebody who can do it. But they'll be sensible and they will be amenable to reason because their reputation is important to them. So they won't burn themselves too badly by this false fake it till you make it vibe if it's really going to eat them in the long run. Well, that was that for this particular reading, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, we've if you're watching, sorry, I don't want to be too loud on this. If you're watching, we still have one more reading about Sagittarius monkey to go. Oh, my videos are just getting longer and longer all the time, but that's okay, because I'm getting more and more used to rapping about these signs as they come through. Creepy kitten. What divine timing. Would you touch on the differences of Sagittarius sun monkey versus the other metal Chinese zodiacs? Okay, Caroline, if you're still watching, I'll try to get that in just a moment. Monkeys rule. Creepy kitten. I'm kind of there with that one for sure. Jim Morrison, also a Sag. And I got Sagittarius moon. Maybe that contributes to me looking like Jim Morrison. Phil Collins. Look at Goosey getting us all the info. Yeah, lots of Sagittariuses in rock and roll. Totally. Because we know Sagittarius is the type of person who feels capable, confident, considers it, the ego is projecting, where they consider it important that they can be leaned on to do whatever skill it is that they're doing. And the Jupiter is going to find knowledge and experience and expression in whatever regard that they're interested in. So we're going to see a lot of high-flying Sagittariuses doing high-flying acrobatics in all things rock and roll. Is everybody still with me here? Yeah. Okay, good. Just checking. I would like to speak to what my friend Caroline has asked here. Touch on the differences of Sag Sun Monkey versus the other metal Chinese zodiac. I will say, so the thing about this question, Caroline, is that the deeper metal nature is in the metal triad. The question you're asking, I understand it, but I want to speak to the fact that the real metal element is more about the metal triad. If we want to see metal being enacted in the world, we look for roosters, mostly. Rooster is a metal sign on its face, and it's in the metal triad. Monkey is a metal sign on its face, but it's in the water triad. So we see a lot of like watery, martial artsy, driven political nature. The triad. Okay, so I understand where you're at, Carolyn. There's two different triads as to what makes metal. I'm assuming you're referring to monkey, rooster, and dog as the metal triad. These three are metal on the surface. I'll get you there, Goosey. Monkey, rooster, and dog are metal on the surface, but they're not actually metal within. Rooster is more truly metal than monkey is. Rooster is the most metal out of any of the animals. But I will speak to your question. You're talking about the animals who are in the metal season, right? So monkey's in the metal season, the autumn season. Monkey's in the metal autumn season. Rooster's in the metal autumn season, and so is dog in the metal autumn season. The Sagittarius, coming through all of these personalities, will consider it important to themselves to be looked at as capable, strong, and confident in whatever field that they're good at. Rooster will, like monkey, holds one position. Like I said, monkey is a fixed sign. Monkey Sagittarius will have the corner store mechanic that's been there for 15 years, and they've stayed at that stable position in that stable field, and they have not moved from their expertise in this particular regard. They can get anything. The monkey can get anything. They're resourceful. But their expertise at something coming through the Sagittarius. Rooster is more variable and versatile. Rooster will be good in a greater field with lots of little things. Rooster is more like a very capable contractor. Rooster would be a good contractor. Dog too. Rooster and dog are both this way. As a Sagittarius, they'll get their hands into paint. Like if they're carpenters, they'll get into carpentry, painting, drywalling, plastering, sanding, taping. They'll get into framing. They'll get into concrete. They'll be a plumber. There'll be all these different things. The Sagittarius, rooster, and dog will get experience in all these different things, and then they'll get to the point where they've experienced all those things. And now when you come to them, they're a good contractor, and they can say, well, I know people who can do a concrete floor. I know people who are plumbers, and all these people, I can even do it myself. These people will be good, self-employed contractors who can do all the various different things that Sagittarius is good at doing. They'll consider it important for them to have a reputation as someone. Like the metal signs are about this reputation thing. They consider it important to be seen positively in whatever skill the Sagittarius is good at experiencing and getting knowledge about. And they like to express the confidence of Sagittarius. Rooster is the most versatile of them all, and possibly even the toughest. Rooster is rather unforgiving. Monkey is not forgiving either, but he can fake like he is forgiving. And dog is actually forgiving. Dog's a sweetheart. Dog is tough, and when he feels that someone is being undermined, like if he's working with a rooster and someone is drilling the dog's friend into the ground, dog can take it to a certain point because it's like, hey, buddy, we all got to work, and the boss is going to discipline you when you do something wrong. But if the boss is being too hard, the dog is going to go right up to the rooster's fucking face and say, hey, bang, palm, what's that? Palm slap. Relax. He's a new guy. He's fucking trying, all right? Don't be so fucking hard. Don't be such a dick to him. The dog is like this. The dog looks for the underdog. The dog relates at an empathic level with everybody, but is also metal. They want a reputation of someone who's tough as nails and who will cinch the best deal for the union and for everybody, and everyone will applaud dog for being tough, and the dog will say, oh, it wasn't just me, guys, it was all of us, this is all a team effort. The rooster is more objective, but the rooster will consider it important for them to have the reputation as the tough guy, and the rooster's a bit more of a soldier. Rooster doesn't care about what people feel, and they don't care about taking situations lightly. They'll just be known as the tough guy. The tough Sagittarius who's just like, look, you idiot, this is just how you do the thing. Just deal with it. That's how those three different types kind of roll. I hope I answered your question, Caroline. I hope I was leaning towards the idea of the triad that you were asking the question about. This is the year of the Earthborn. Next year is the Metal Rat, 2020. 2021, Goosey would be the Metal Ox. Excellent, Carolyn. Thank you for responding. I'm glad that I hit the points that you were looking for. 2021, Goosey, is going to be the year of the Metal Ox. So anyone who has any Metal Ox in their chart is going to have to be dealing with the themes that they relate with. Usually if you have, like, my dad is going to be 60 this year, actually, probably in like 2 months. He's in the year of the Earth Boar. Since Earth Boar is in my dad's chart, he's dealing with things that relate to himself this whole year. It's what tends to happen when the year sign comes by. If you're an ox, but you're not like a metal ox, it's not as big a deal. But if you have metal ox in your year sign, your month sign, your day sign, or your hour sign, that year will bring some significance to you. In fact, this year, I have Earth Boar on my month sign. So I'm dealing with my month branch, my working nature, this year. It's going very interesting for me, actually. Mostly positive. I'll let you guys know about how it all comes out at the end of the year. Next year is Metal Rat, which is my hour sign, and then I'll let you guys know how that goes. It's very good for my knowledge. I'm just very excited to see what happens. I'm very curious. It can be positive and it can be negative. Excellent, Goosey. Glad to hear it. So, thank you very much for all our thoughtful comments. I love this spiritual slut, creepy kitten. Got me right in the heart. Okay, so what I would like to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ready us for our next thingy here. Sagittarius monkey. Yeah. So we got one more reading to do, ladies and gentlemen. The New Astrology by Susan White. We're going to read her interpretation of the Sagittarius monkey. First, I'm going to go get my beer. I put it back in the fridge because I didn't think I would need it until later, and now is later. So I'll be right back. Laughing at myself. Now is later. But wait a minute, now is also before. Where are we, man? Okay, folks, one more reading left to dig into. This is Sagittarius Monkey from Susan White's The New Astrology. The lady who wrote this book contacted me since I've been doing these videos, and she's a super sweet lady. She lives in France. She's got a cool and amazing story. I'd love to know her signs. And she loves what I'm doing here, and I just want to shout out my heart to that sweet lady for encouraging me to do what we're both doing. I'm reading her book on the New Astrology, and she's the one that's providing this data, so God bless her. I recommend checking out Susan White's website because it's got some interesting stuff relating to this new astrology. Excuse me. Now, without further... Excuse me. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at Sagittarius monkey. The keyword for Sagittarius is I see. The keyword for monkey is I plan. We can see why the visionary nature of Sagittarius would be very good at plumbing to the succinct depths of any mission, any objective goal that the Sagittarius has. They're led by vision, by Jupiterian intuition of how things are going to go. And the monkey knows how to take... It's almost like the arrow is already in the target. And the monkey says... It's like the arrow has hit its target in the future. Somewhere in the space-time continuum, 5 months from now, this Sagittarius monkey has hit his target already. And the Sagittarius sees into the future and sees, this is what my vision is going to look like when it's completed. And then monkey says, where did that arrow go? Where did that arrow go through in order to hit that target? Oh, it had to go through this and this and this and this and this. So now I, as the monkey, am going to plan out all those things and get to that arrow. Get that arrow to that target. Just checking. Yeah. Okay. Sagittarians are always free thinkers. They blaze trails and shoot for the future. They are glib and humanitarian. They are direct and cheerful. Much of the above description, this description, also fits monkey. So in some ways, the Sagittarian monkey is in harmony with both sides of its nature. The outgoing side doesn't have to do daily battle with some introverted tendency to hide under rocks when company comes. Sagittarius monkey is comfortable in their own skin. But a basic rift exists between the Sagittarian and his monkey counterpart. Sagittarians are altruistic and other-oriented, humanitarian. They're looking for big... The sun in this person projects itself towards humanitarian ideals so that when others see what Sagittarius does, pretty much no matter what, especially if the sun is good and the Jupiter is good, the Sagittarius is doing things which everyone can appreciate, and they are seen as being one who's doing these things that everyone appreciates. Now, of course, this is still a human doing these things. And humans have faults, and humans have egos, and humans have needs. So it's weird when you see someone doing these humanitarian things for everyone's sake, asking for their compensation. Everyone's like, wait a minute, didn't you do that for everybody? And they're like, yeah. And I'm going to be able to continue doing it for everybody if I get what I need in order to continue on. And everyone's like, whoa, but if these people are balanced, I mean, fuck, nothing ever happens by itself. Nothing happens for free. You're allowed to ask for compensation for these humanitarian things that you do. It's just that this is a theme that the Sagittarius monkey deals with. A basic rift exists between the Sagittarian and his monkey counterpart. Sagittarians are altruistic and other-oriented. Sagittarians are truthful and like to play daredevil. The monkey is not a bit like that. The monkey is cunning itself, careful never to be too direct, and capable of epic feats of circuitousness. Monkey rarely tempts the devil unless they know that they can beat the devil. And their orientation is toward themselves, the monkey. Their orientation is towards themselves rather than towards others. So what happens? Well, it's quite simple. Monkey turns Sagittarius into a natural, realistic leader. This person has the necessary ardor and force to move a mountain in the Sagittarius. I can do it. And he also possesses the guile and opportunism needed to establish his own government on the same site. Sagittarius monkeys take over. They like to run things and make decisions and order people around and make laws and initiate changes and make alterations. And before you can say Sagittarius monkey, this tricky little number is having a street named after himself. And while he's at it, maybe he'll name one after his girlfriend too. Huge efforts don't bother the Sagittarius monkey either. These capable people are organized and go right to the heart of any given problem. They are earnest and believe fervently in their creeds and ideals. They are attractive, and they are very convincing. Sagittarius monkeys naturally love to speak in public and debate prickly subjects with aplomb and common sense. The Sagittarians seeing from bird's eye view what it is that they're talking about and saying, we got to deal with this thing. And everyone's like, oh, this is this tough thing. And they're like, I know, but of course it's just a natural part of life. Here it is. But don't worry, we've got other nodes in our energy continuum that can help this thing out. Don't worry, folks, we got this. They speak about these prickly subjects with aplomb and common sense. They like money and know how to spend it wisely and generously. Silliness for the monkey born in Sagittarius will be reserved for private parties. The public image of this power-seeking dynamo will be grave. Sagittarius monkey wants to be taken seriously. With friends or intimates, this character may be a perfect clown, dancing on tables and enlivening gatherings with witty comments and crazy antics. But image-wise, this bright person is nobody's fool. Sagittarius monkeys think big. They never putter around with small potatoes. These folks are interested in gain and authority. They are excellent administrators and just about never enter into direct conflict. These people are essentially conservative, and even if they have a streak of the liberal in them, they will be careful to cloak it in the middle-of-the-road clothing. Monkeys born in Sagittarius, they like hefty challenges. They are expert at public relations. They are their own best ambassadors and seem to know instinctively how to gently sway public opinion in their favor. Politically minded manipulators, for better or worse, often for the better. Now, Sagittarius monkey in love. Sagittarius monkeys are a bit uncomfortable in intimacy. They don't give easily of their emotions and tend to shrink from the bonds that coupledom imposes. Sagittarius monkey will be hesitant about marrying or hitching up with someone for life. This character sees beyond each relationship, even when they're just initiating it, and wonders whether or not, in a few years' time, he or she will become bored with the loved one. There's a refusal in this character to take on emotional responsibility for anything other than their personal missions. They will be fun to hang around with, but I'm not sure I'd want them to marry my sister. It's the writer saying that. If you are attracted to the challenging Sagittarius monkey, Use wiles to fight wiles. Oh, excuse me. Don't be too declarative or easy for this person to bag. It's like, don't be too declarative on one end and don't be too easy on the other end. Otherwise, they'll lose interest overnight. You best charm this difficult subject by challenging their mind, testing her mettle, and taking little trips by yourself from time to time just to keep them on their toes, getting away from them, looking busy outside of them. For heaven's sake, don't say you are only going to the neighboring village. Pretend you've been called away on affairs of state. Like that's, they don't want to think that you're bored with them, but just stay busy. That's why these people do well with rat and dragon, because rat and dragon have just as much going on in their lives. They got as big missions to uphold as the monkey does, typically. Especially like an Aries or a Leo rat or an Aries or a Leo dragon. Just has other shit going on. Sorry, I can only deal so much, baby. And the monkey's just like, well, great. I got my shit going on too. When we meet up, it's going to be flaring and just super hot and intense, and that's great, Though maybe that's too much of the same thing. I don't know. Generally, it's a good combination with monkey, with rat, and dragon. So, home and family. This person's interior, the Sagittarius monkey, will be practical and sensible. They will probably own a number of objects d'art picked up in their many travels. But there's not so much showiness in the Sagittarius monkey's taste. He or she does not want to impress through furnishings. A comfortable and well-organized, functional home is this person's aim. The Sagittarius monkey's wardrobe will be publicly bourgeois, old line, and privately casual. The Sagittarius monkey is not apt to marry young and have a slew of stair-step babies trotting around underfoot by age 25. No. This person has personal advancement in mind before everything else. Then, once he or she is established in a solid career, it will be time enough for making babies. And 1 or 2 will suffice, thank you. Sagittarian monkeys will be careful parents who provide handsomely for their children's futures. They are concerned with public appearances and will make their children behave. If you have a Sagittarius monkey child, you have probably already noticed how serious he or she threatens to become. Although at home, these little kids can be very rough and tumble, they usually contain themselves in school. This child will have talent for organization and leadership. They can benefit from early training in public speaking or theater work. They are sensitive but private about their emotions. It's rather difficult to know what they are thinking. Never pry. Question gently and civilly. Don't push them to be anything, because these people are serious and they'll bite back when they feel that there's a pressure and manipulation happening to them. All in all, though, it's a plucky little fella. Plucky combination for anybody, for a boy or a girl. Makes a well-to-do, refined, aristocratic person who can be fun and rough and tumble when they need to be with friends and stuff. And yeah, they'll do the thing and they'll have fun on that level, but then they'll also be serious and concerned with appearances. Pretty plucky little person. Now, profession. The Sagittarius monkey rarely takes the path of least resistance. He or she will be adept at managing and has great organizational acumen. These people are born problem solvers. They see concrete solutions to puzzles that stymie whole commissions of specialists. Why don't we turn it into a stadium then? They will suggest at the town planning board meeting. We can make it profitable by building a parking lot underneath. The Sagittarius monkey always has an answer. And if he doesn't know what he's yammering about, it certainly sounds as if he does. Of course, this person is a leader and will want to be boss. The Sagittarian monkey is not sarcastic or mean to their subordinates, but they do sometimes have a blustery way of acting superior that can get under the skin of employees. Largely, she can be trusted to take over in all areas requiring common sense administration. This person doesn't stay an underling for long, but she knows how to be flexible for promotional purposes and cooperative for gain. These folks work very well alone. It's a personal, self-employed thing. You know, the Sagittarius is mutable, it's versatile, and it can tend to stand on its own 2 feet. It's the funny thing about the mutable signs like Sagittarius is that the cardinal signs do best with working with, like Aries plunges on its own as well. It's a fire sign thing, I guess. But most of the cardinal signs plunge forward actively, and they do best when other people are interacting with them. The fixed signs can be self-oriented too, but they're so fixed that they often do better with other people helping them deal with what they're not thinking about. The mutable signs are the ones who are fixed enough to last on their own, but versatile enough to get what they need and to blend to immediate things in the moment, which might force them out of any fixedness, force them out of any stubbornness. Sagittarius is stubborn about getting the final ultimate thing that needs to be done. And in that stubbornness, they have to be versatile. This is conducive to self-employment in these sorts of things. Careers that suit the Sagittarius monkey are politician, writer, ambassador, office manager, account executive, lobbyist, negotiator, personnel director, and economist. Some famous Sagittarius monkeys include John Milton, Claude Lévi-Strauss, Ellen Burstyn, and Larry Bird. Cool bean hues. The beans. Well, that was certainly informative. Only took all of an hour and 47 damn minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, Goosey, ain't that cool? Your month branch is the rat. Oh yeah, because you're in December there. Wonderful. The way you tend to work and talk and be seen with people and enjoy working relates similarly to the way my hour sign is. I would tend to think that that's like the nature of me in my work. That's what they say the hour sign is like. So the way you work lines up well with the work I like to produce, Goosey. That's kind of cool, huh? I would say so, creepy kitten. Your first house starts at Scorpio. It's also, so that means your second house cusp falls in Sagittarius. That's a pretty normal thing. Usually most people have their ascendant sign in one sign, and there will be lots of the next sign in the house. I'm a Leo rising, and my ascendant sign is at 13 degrees Leo. My second house cusp is at like 10 degrees Virgo. So that means that I've got 10 degrees of Virgo in my ascendant sign. And it does show, generally, if the ascendant sign is on the, whatever sign the ascendant sign is on is the ascendant. And that's going to come out as the face that you show to the world. It's only when you've got Scorpio at your ascendant sign at like the last 20 degrees of a sign that it, I mean, you're still going to look like a Scorpio no matter what if your ascendant, if your rising sign is in Scorpio. It's honestly, it's a very common thing, Creepy Kitten, to have half of your first house in one sign and half in the other one. The big point is the cusps. Wherever the cusp of the house. Your first house cusp lands in Scorpio. So that means that your first house has a Scorpio vibration. If your second house cusp falls in Sagittarius, the second house has a Sagittarius vibration. What gets confusing is if you've got your first house cusp at like 5 degrees of Scorpio and your second house cusp is at like 25 degrees Scorpio. That means that your first and your second house are blended in the same sign. And it's hard to define what's you and what's the material resources that you identify with and try to collect. Even though at some level, Sagittarius is always in the equal house system. Sagittarius is always the second house from Scorpio, no matter what. For me, I blend both of those systems. So if you've got your ascendant at 5 degrees Scorpio, your second house at 25 degrees Scorpio, and then your third house is in like Capricorn, right? I would say there's one level where your second house cusp is in Scorpio, and you got to deal with your second house being in Scorpio. But at another layer, at the same time, Sagittarius is still the second lord, second sign from Scorpio. And you've got to deal with that on that level too. They both interact in my personal opinion. Hopefully that makes sense to what you were asking there, Creepy Kitten. Now, well, folks, that was super fucking long. But story of my life, you know, these videos have been coming out longer and longer, like I said, so that was fun. We just learned a little bit about Sagittarius monkey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to for those of you watching on YouTube, feel free to check out this link. It's going to be here or somewhere on the screen to check out the Year of the Monkey with the first video we did, which is Jupiter rulership of Sagittarius and Pisces as it relates to the Year of the Monkey. It was like a 4-hour video. Might give you a little bit more information about yourself as the Sagittarius coming through the Year of the Monkey. As for the rest of it, I'm Dustin Cormier. This is How to Rock Spirit. I love jamming out with you guys and talking about all this fun astrology stuff with you. I love that I have my live commenters who watch and are a part of this experience with me. It really does mean a lot because for what it's worth, I'm just kind of like got my little YouTube studio down here and I'm just sort of like by myself talking to this computer screen, looking at myself and saying, "Hi, Dustin, how's this going?" "Great, Dustin, great." I love that you guys join me and talk with me about this stuff. Creepy Kitten, Nay West has been watching with us. My friend Goosey. Caroline has been watching with us a lot. And Jarvis, nice to see you here too, my friend. It means more than I could say, folks. I love having you guys being a part of this with me. And for all you watching at home, thanks for being a part of it too. This is How to Rock Spirit. Thanks for watching. Now I'm going to do a video in about like probably 10 minutes talking about the nature of Pisces sun coming through the year of the beloved monkey. Hope you guys dug it. I'll see you on the next one.